Today we will be talking about Catcher in the Rye, a writing lesson for 10th grade honors. Specifically, we are going to be talking about specific examples from Salinger, and I want us to look at how Salinger pulls in his reader. He gives us a sense of the imagery, a sense of feeling, everything from Holden. We are going to be looking at a paragraph from the book. It's going to be on page 179 to 180 if you'd like to look at it. I do have it up on the screen, but just in case, if you want to look along, make some notes in your book. It'll be beneficial once we start writing the essay. Then, all of a sudden, I started to cry. I couldn't help it. I did it so nobody could hear me, but I did it. It scared hell out of old Phoebe when I started doing it, and she came over and tried to make me stop. But once you get started, you can't just stop on a goddamn dime. I was still sitting on the edge of the bed when I did it. And she put her old arm around my neck, and I put my arm around her too. But I still couldn't stop for a long time. I thought I was going to choke to death or something. Boy, scared hell out of poor old Phoebe. The damn window was open and everything. I could feel her shivering and all, because all she had on was her pajamas. I tried to make her get back into bed, but she wouldn't go. Finally, I stopped. So here I took the exact same paragraph. I took out a lot of the descriptive language and I changed it. But these are the exact same sentences in the same exact order. And we can see already that it's very condensed and it's shortened. And I want you to listen at how different and mundane the new paragraph sounds. Then I started crying. I couldn't help it. I cried silently. I scared Phoebe. She tried to comfort me, but I couldn't stop. I was sitting on the bed when I started crying. Phoebe hugged me to help me stop crying. I was crying hard. I scared Phoebe. The window was open. I could tell Phoebe was cold. She was only wearing her pajamas. I told her to get back into bed, but she didn't. I stopped crying. So for this side, I highlighted in white what I took out of the original paragraph. And I hope that you noticed how different the shortened, non-descriptive paragraph is. And I hope it can show an appreciation for descriptive language and what it can add to a story, to any informational text, even to your essays. It's going to be a huge benefit to pull in that reader, to show the audience and not just tell the audience. So just some examples I'm going to reiterate. I took out all of a sudden, I couldn't help it. I did it so nobody could hear me, but I did it. In the previous paragraph, that became I cried silently. Here we can really tell that he's holding in that cry and he's trying to be silent. And most likely he's not because it sounds like he's having a very extreme crying session right now. It scared hell out of old Phoebe. Just can't stop on a goddamn dime. Sitting on the edge of the bed. In the previous paragraph, we just said sitting on the bed. Here we have a more descriptive scene of they're both sitting on the edge of the bed. She put her arm around his neck, and he put his arm around her. So here we just have a more solid scene that is in our heads. We are looking through Holden's eyes. Salinger has done an excellent job of describing this crying scene, this emotional scene from Holden. I thought it was going to choke to death or something. In the previous paragraph, I just put I cried hard, but here we have a real sense of how hard he's actually crying. So for your at-home assignment, I want you to do your own free write. I want you to actually write about your dinner tonight, whether it was a family style dinner, whether it was dinner on your way to practice really quick, or even if you're eating dinner right now watching this PowerPoint. I want you to write about that 2, 3, 15-minute scene, and I want you to really fill it up with as much descriptive language as possible. I want it to be a decent sized paragraph, anywhere from 300 minimum to 400 words. And I want you to really focus and hone in on a specific moment. And I want it to be funny. I want it to be dramatic or sad, however you are feeling. I want you to really emphasize those feelings. If you were extremely hungry, if you were extremely full, if you were quickly eating because you had somewhere to go. So there are sources online if you're running out of words. This was one of my favorites. It's grammar.yourdictionary, list of descriptive words. Go ahead and write this up, bring it to class, and we will do a sharing exercise. And all of us will be sharing our paragraphs to the class. Okay, so good luck, and I will see you tomorrow.